All right, hi everybody. Welcome in to Baseball and Coffee. It's Saturday, July 27th. It's a little past noon. On a Sunday, I had to go to a friend's house where they have Wi-Fi, so I could actually do this stream today. Total disaster. I was in Pennsylvania all day yesterday with no service. wasn't able to stream. And then today I wake up and there's no Wi-Fi. It's completely down in my area. Hopefully they'll fix that later and we'll be back up and running from the home base tomorrow, but we're going to run this stream anyway today. The show must go on. And yesterday, really the last 2 days, there's been some crazy stuff in baseball. We're going to look at that Nick Kurtz day from 2 days ago, the 6 for 6 day. We'll watch all the pitches, see the adjustments, see what the pitchers try to do that obviously didn't work. But today we're going to start off with a little bit of Dodgers-Red Sox matchup yesterday. We got to look at Crochet. We got to watch the showdowns between him and Ohtani, him and Freddie Freeman as well. I also want to watch Kershaw go against an old dog, Alex Bregman, and a young buck, Roman Anthony, two guys that I love watching play. But yeah, we are feeling very, very good about today's show. We're going to get going. We're going to get in the chat. We're going to see what we have today from everyone. Hopefully we are flowing. I don't know if there's anyone in the chat yet. Looks like no. But anyway, let's get going today here this morning. Our first thing we're going to do, as we always do, is we're going to go check the standings. Man, huge rainstorm outside. All right. So let's go over to the standings. Let's refresh them. Let's make sure they're brand new today. Blue Jays are now 6.5 games up. Can you believe that? Oh, what's up, Jared? 6.5 up on the Yankees, who have been an absolute disaster of late. They're 3-7 in their last 10. I think they'll right the ship, but this is already a pretty good lead for the Jays. 7.5 up on the Sox, who we're going to watch in a bit here. Detroit, the lead's down to 7. I'm officially starting to worry a little bit about the Tigers. They're sliding. Of course, they've run into the Blue Jays, who are hot right now. But 7 is not the 12 or 13 that it once was. Seattle 4 behind the Astros in the West. Astros have lost 3 in a row, giving Seattle and Texas a chance to climb back in. I do think they will. We will see. Mets and Phillies, half game. Mets won 6 in a row. They won last night. I think we will check a bit up on that, baseball purist. I didn't watch any of that game, so I'm curious to watch the ninth inning myself. I see it was a close game, 2-1. Cubbies and Brewers tied at the top of the Central. Again, these are two hot teams. These are interesting teams. They're totally go about it differently. We're going to see how they attack the rest of the way. And then the Dodgers, even though they lost yesterday, 5 up on the Pods. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Garrett Crochet for a second. Garrett Crochet is somebody that I announced to the world right before the break that I thought they needed to be careful with him, that he looked like he was getting a little tired to me. He told me to shut up. He went ahead and threw a complete game shutout, his first game out of the break, and then he goes head-to-head with the Dodgers yesterday and has just an awesome performance. You can see these are the numbers in the aggregate. He's right there in the Cy Young race, along with Scooble. This is the Red Sox ace. This is the guy that they traded for. They're riding. He's their type of pitcher. He's going to grade out super awesome and stuff metrics. He's going to go for chase. He's got dominant velocity. It's a lot of chase in his game, as you can see, 83rd percentile in chase. Really, he's been awesome. But let's go ahead and look at the breakdown from him yesterday before we watch some of the at-bats and some of the matchups that I wanted to get into. Crochet averaged 96.8 on his heater yesterday and 90.3 on that cutter. Those are the two primary pitches. He threw 36 heaters, 4 seamers, and 30 cutters, and he also mixed in 17 sinkers, which is a nice adjustment for him. What's up, James? Thanks for joining the chat. Sweeper, he also threw 13 of those. That's been a really strong pitch for him this year. He was able to get 20 whiffs yesterday, which is a really high number, and that's his game. It's swing and miss. It's not a lot of called strike threes, but it's a heck of a lot of swinging and missing, chasing, and just straight up bullying guys. He just goes right at guys. He doesn't mess around. He's really fun to watch. Big lefty, good dude, hard worker. I'm glad to see him having his success. I really enjoyed. I had the locker next to him in spring training this year. I really enjoyed watching his rise into a true ace And we're witnessing a career year, folks. When you go back to Garrett, I mean, 12-4 with a 2.23 for the Red Sox through his first 22 starts. It's pretty impressive. Today's coffee is the same as it's been. It's the Pergamino, the Colombian roast that we were rocking. I got my Porsche design travel mug. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it's keeping the coffee nice and warm for me as I am doing this show on the road today. All right, let's get into it. Crochet versus Ohtani. This is what we came to watch. It did not disappoint. We're going to get into all these at bats. So first at bat, and we got Shohei here.
He climbs in, Crochet comes home, and off we go.
Wow, Shohei going for the downs on the first pitch, swinging at this first pitch heater. This is a 96.5, 15.9 vert, negative 8.7. He's got solid extension, but not as much for as big as you would have thought. But this pitch kind of stays down, and Shohei, I don't know if he's late there or what, but he's swing and miss on the first pitch.
A lot too with 2 strikes, and he's just going to come after you and bully you. There's the
one thing that I want to point out here is I've not watched all these at bats, but we can see here right away this is the target zone for Garrett, up and in.
and he's just going to come after you.
I think that's where they want to go with Shohei. Gets him a little uncomfortable coming in. So 2 fastballs to start off the at bat. Let's see the third one. I believe this is the homer. Yeah, Shohei, all he's got to do is touch it. He gets on time, 3 heaters in a row. 108.5, gets out by only 1 row in center, showing you how deep it is out there in Fenway. But this guy's incredible. I mean, left on left, just gets kind of moved off the plate. Let's see where this ball ends up compared to the target. All right, so here's the target, up and in. Let's see where the pitch ends up. Pretty close, pretty close. Misses in the middle. I think he would have preferred to keep this ball a little bit higher, a little bit more in on him, but you got to give Shohei credit. Drops the head on this. And here in the first matchup, it's 3 fastballs. Shohei takes him dead center. But you got to like it. Crochet's trying to establish the fastball early. It's a solo shot. Solo shots are never going to kill you to start off the game. And it didn't kill him. He ended up throwing a great game with 10 punches and got the dub in this game. Let's check out Shohei's swing from the side here on this homer, as I feel like that's always fun to do. All right, here we go. Yeah, it's just such a simple swing. So one thing I want to highlight here, you see the hands, they start up high, and as he gets into his load here, they move back. So that's him getting the hands back into the launch position. This is a stretch position before he fires them. This is just a simple toe tap move. It's a very quiet move. All he does is just kind of pull this hip inward a little bit. You can see it by the way this knee is torqued. And then he's just going to rotate everything and deliver the hand straight to the ball. All right, so beautiful swing from Shohei in that first at-bat. Let's see how Crochet goes about him the second time. Remember, he got hit on a 4-seam.
13 out of 13 as Ohtani
Comes right back at him with a 4-seam. You got to love the conviction. This one, he was a little bit under it, just a little bit under this ball. So he gets to the 0-1, and so far all he's seen is fastballs. All right, this makes sense. Comes cutter right off of that. This is actually a beautiful pitch. Let's take a quick peek at how this ball travels. So far he's worked him in every time, and you can see Shohei's feet angle is already cheating to get to the inside pitch. He's figuring I got to cover inside, middle in. So they go to a little bit of a slider way, see if they can get him to swing at a bad pitch. And this is a nice location. I mean, this is obviously on the plate as it comes out, and it ends up off the corner. But a good take, and we get back to 1-1.
Strikeouts in half those at-bats.
Ooh, interesting pitch. He goes with the sinker variety of fastball in this time. So again, we know Shohei's cheating in by the way his body energy's going. But instead of being a 4-seam, this time he goes to the sinker. So this ball, it's got more run on it. It's got 15 inches of run and less break. And you can see it on the way this travels. It kind of handcuffs him a little bit. Shohei's expecting that ball, because if it's a 4-seam, it wouldn't have run as much. It would have probably been about here. But instead it's in here on the label of the bat, handcuffing him, and still maintained its velo at 96. And so Shohei's kind of handcuffed right there. So in this at-bat, thus far, we've got 4-seam in, cutter away with an easy take, and then a sinker in. I think Shohei's attention is still in here. Be curious to see what Crochet goes for the finish here. Oh, he's going to go back to the 4. Let's see where he locates it.
1-2 from crochet. Ohtani swings and
Oof,
misses.
up in. So he's shown a definite strong preference so far that he wants to throw his 4 seam in this up in location. And that's where he gets it to. Actually, he gets it a little bit above that. He gets it above the zone. It's a really good pitch. Really, really good pitch. I definitely think he did just enough to get him off of that 4-seam shape. The first at-bat, he gave him 3 4-seam shapes in a row. This one, he feeds him a little bait early, like I'm going to go 4-seam, then switches immediately, goes cutter away, and then sinker in. That kind of throws him off the scent a little bit, and then it's just a much better executed pitch than the previous pitch he gave up the homer on. This pitch is up. It's fast, 97. Shohei can't quite get to it, and Crochet gets the punchy. All right, so we're through the first 2 ABs of this showdown, and we got a homer and a punchy. And now they're going to match up again here in the 4th inning. Again, you see that inside target. They definitely wanted to pitch Shohei in, and this time he goes with the sinker early. Again, target, inside corner, pitch comes in. This one's a sinker again. Shohei's on top of that, pulls it foul, but even still, he's not afraid to pound that fastball in. You see the feet are over here. So Ohtani's aware of how he's getting pitched here, but Crochet does not care. He knows he can mix up the 4-seam and the sinker and kind of keep him off the scent a little bit. So I really like the adjustment by Garrett so far in these 2 at-bats following the homer. All right, so that's that gets him the 0-1. Another high target. This was a little bit of a mistake right here. Man, he just got away with that pitch. This is a much more hittable pitch for Shohei. I do think the fact that he's leaking, you see this hip is kind of pulling out this way, and the feet are still slanted on the outside. I think he's still thinking, his awareness is still inside, and this pitch pops down the middle. But this is kind of lucky, but I also want to speak a little bit on when you have the sinker and the 4-seam shape, how this kind of protects this pitch. When you have a sinker, the hitter's natural tendency is to get a little more scoopy and to droop the barrel a little bit more to meet the shape of that pitch, and then the 4-seam is going to stay up a little more. The 4-seam, this one has 17 vert. So the sinker's averaging about 7 vert, and then he's got 17 verts. That's a 10-inch difference, and that makes all the difference here in this foul ball. Shohei's just a bit below it, and it allows Garrett to get ahead 0-2 in this at-bat. It's a really, really good job. And now let's see where he goes with the 3rd pitch. It's been basically a pound inside fastball approach, -1 cutter away to this point. So if I'm Shohei, I'm still sped up for the fastball. Yep. Gorgeous chase cutter, slider, whatever you want to call that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So he uses the fact that he missed with his last fastball a little bit more in a middle location to then get the chase off the corner. This pitch is going to track middle, as you see, pretty far, still in the middle. So Shohei now has to honor it because he just got a fastball in that spot. And now he ends up just kind of with a feeble wave attempt as this ball absolutely drops off the table. It's filthy. It's 88. It's a bullet. Came out looking real good. And then it wasn't so good by the time Shohei swings. So that's a nasty pitch. That's 2 punchies for Crochet on Shohei. It's a really good adjustment off that first at-bat. And I also think it was actually very, very key for him to not panic just because he gave up a home run that first at-bat, and he still stayed with it. He still fired the ball in there and wasn't afraid to just go right at him. And I think that's something that you see a lot of guys not do. A lot of guys shy away from the zone as soon as they get clipped by a guy. They kind of nibble. They go to a completely different approach right away. Crochet didn't necessarily do that. He said, no, I'm still going to pound you in. I'm going to use both shape of fastballs to keep you off the scent, keep your pattern recognition. I'm not able to, really get to the same point. And then I'm going to use my misses, He threw a ball down the middle, and he used that miss to get the chase. So that was a really good job by Crochet there. But, it was a good battle. At the end of the day, Shohei's numbers are going to come out looking good. He's 1 for 3 with a homer. That's just going to keep him moving along in his day. But it's a good adjustment by Garrett to go ahead and get those 2 punchies. And it ended up paying off big time because, the Red Sox ended up winning this game. And this was a huge spot. 1st and 3rd in the 4th. This is a big RBI opportunity, and he went right at him, and he did his thing. So that's a really good job of Crochet versus Shohei. And then now we're also going to look at Crochet versus Freddie Freeman, because this is another Hall of Fame matchup, so we should probably watch that as well. All right, in the chat real quick, James Benbrook asking some good questions. If you punch a guy out 2 times but he takes you deep, do you still feel like you beat him that day? I'd say it's a push. It's a push ultimately for the pitcher, because Crochet got the win. The home run didn't kill him, and he also got the 2 punches. So he's feeling really good about himself. But you know, at the same time, he is in Shohei's book now. So Shohei, like I said, his numbers are still going to be looking good after this game. It's not anything that he can control necessarily, you know, beyond his 3 at-bats about the outcome of the game. And overall, 1 for 3, as we know, is still a good day at the yard, especially with a homer. So I think they both come out of this matchup feeling pretty good about how they performed. And that's what we like to see, the best going at it. All right, so now we're going to look at the second Hall of Fame player, left on left versus Crochet, and let's see how Freddie fares and what Garrett tries to do to him. See if he wants to pound him in the same. Yeah, first pitch fastball inside. Of course, we got this silly Fox thing in the middle. Maybe we'll go to the center field cam so we can just get a better view of this first pitch heater in on Freddie. Yeah, he's a little under it, little late. And now he's going to go to that second shape style here is the sinker. So we're already seeing a nice job, especially left on left of Crochet. Oh, wow, jams the piss out of him. It's going to be a hit. It's a crappy hit. And this is some of the danger of jamming guys. But this is the beauty of the 4-seam and the sinker interplaying. Since they're both the same speed, it's virtually impossible for the hitter to identify which one is which until it's too late. Like the sinker doesn't diverge from the 4-seam shape until probably the last 20 feet, maybe 30 feet. But by then you're already committed to swinging, and now you have to kind of steer your barrel to whether the ball's dropping or riding. And this is just really good usage by Crochet. Not afraid to throw inside. Doesn't matter whether it's the best hitters in the world or not. But this ball runs a little more than Freddie's expecting, and it just chews him up. Yes, it's a hit. But at the end of the day, as a pitcher, it's a 55-mile-an-hour contact, and you did your job. All right, so that's the first at-bat. Goes with a little CC Sabathia bare-hand catch here from Bregman. And we're on to their next matchup. At-bat number 2. Looks like it's going to be a quick one. First pitch cutter gets a little rollover to second. Let's see where Freddie's weight and intention was here a little bit. He does a good job sticking his head in there. So that's a good swing by Freddie. Just a little bit off time, being on that fastball timing, and this cutter does a good job of also tunneling within that fastball matrix. Cutter, sinker, 4-seam, all 3 of those pitches are going to tunnel really well. It's going to be really hard for the hitter to figure out which one it is until it's basically too late. And that's what happens here. Freddie's just a little bit out front, and that causes the rollover of second. So Crochet has basically won both battles, even though Freeman got a hit that first time. I think Crochet's feeling really good about how he's attacked Freddie, and let's see how it goes for their third at-bat. First pitch cutter away. This time it's a take. That's a good spot. You're going to go sweeper off that. Cutter to sweeper is an excellent sequence that a lot of guys use. If you show a guy a cutter or a harder slider before the sweeper, that kind of hides the break of the sweeper for a little extra beat and allows the sweeper sometimes to generate more chase. So a lot of times you'll see a called strike cutter like you do here and then a sweeper attempt. Unfortunately, this one he doesn't kind of get it to the same location. This ball pops way inside. So Freddie's able to read it, I think, out of the hand really well and make a nice swing decision as it drops low. So we get to a 1-1 count.
See the numbers since. Not Freddie-like.
Now he's going to go back to another cutter, and this is actually a very hittable pitch. But once again, I think the speed difference is what made this ball get by Freddie a little bit. Ball comes in a little bit hotter than he's expecting after seeing the sweeper the pitch before, and it just sneaks over the barrel. So now we go into 2-strike mode. Now he's going to try to speed him up. Hasn't thrown him a fastball. Again, up and in target. This has been his preferred target for lefties. Heck of a foul ball by Freddie there. This ball's 98, all up in the kitchen. But Freddie does a good job emergency hacking and fouls it off. But now, I mean, Garrett's got him exactly where he wants him in this situation. He's got 2 cutters, a sweeper, and a 4-seam up. So anything that he starts middle, running away from him, Freddie's very likely to swing at. All he's got to do is get the ball to start off in the middle of the plate and then head somewhere else, and I think he'll get Freddie to swing at a bad pitch. Let's see how it goes. He's going to go back to the cutter. Let's see where this pitch pops.
When they traded for him, signed him to the long-term extension.
Yeah, that's a great job. It's exactly what I was talking about. This pitch comes out more middle. So instead of it popping super duper in, this pitch tracks like a strike a lot longer. Freddie has no choice but to pull the trigger. And look where this pitch is located as it finishes. It's just outside the reach of Freddie. He has him in swing mode. It's a beautiful job. Let's watch it again in full speed. Beautiful, beautiful put-away pitch here by Crochet. This is one of the weapons that he uses to punch tickets, is a chase hard slider. And this type of like hard slider or cutter, and this type of breaking ball is really good for generating chase, because when it's so fast, the hitter has a lot less reaction time and has to make a swing decision earlier than he wants to. All right, so let's see what we got in the chat here. Freddie doing too much in the second out. I don't necessarily agree. I think he did a good job of staying in there, and I think he would have been content to drive the ball the other way. But I think he was just a little bit early, and that's what led to the rollover there. All right, now we're going to go to the opposite side of things. The legend Clayton Kershaw was also pitching in this game for the Dodgers, so we had a matchup of Crochet versus Kershaw. The legend himself, and I gotta think for Crochet this must have been pretty cool. I have never met a lefty pitcher who aspired to be great from this next generation that didn't look up to Clayton Kershaw, so it's always pretty cool to match up with him and actually outduel him. But I want to watch Kershaw. I haven't seen these at-bats, and I want to watch him face two of the hitters that I've been keeping a lot of tabs on. Bregman, as he came back off of his strained quad, and also Roman Anthony as he is hitting in the middle of the Red Sox order as a 21-year-old. And really, top prospect in baseball. We've watched a lot of his at-bats on this program so far, and I'd love to see him go up against the legends. So first, let's watch the Kershaw at-bats versus Breggy. Now, Clayton's not working with the same velo as he once did, but that doesn't mean that he's easy to hit. And a big part of it, and we can see it just on the shape here, is it's a horizontal break of negative 1.7 with a nice high vertical break of nearly 18. So that means this pitch has a lot of ride, comes in nice and flat, but it also kind of bores in on the right-handed hitter's hands in an abnormal way, in a way that guys aren't really used to feeling. So this pitch is a ball, but just wanted to note that shape. So now he's going to go to the bread and butter, the slider. This is also a ball, so very unlike Kershaw to fall behind in any at-bat, but he is 2-0 here to Alex. 2-0 doesn't give in, goes to the slider. This ball disappears. Bregman thinks he's on it, and it just kind of never gets there. That gets Clayton back to 2-1. Now he's going to come back in with the heater. Now, Bregman's very, very fast inside. He's one of the guys, he's got short little arms. He's always been a guy that's tough to get inside on, especially if you miss, like in this region. And Clayton nearly does, plus it's only 87 miles an hour here, so it doesn't have as much pepper on it. But in a way, it kind of plays like a changeup. Bregman is so early, like he's looking for it, and he's on plane, but he's so early that even though he hits this ball hard, he hits it foul. And that gets Clayton back to a 2-2. Now he's going to go to what Vince Scully once called public enemy number one, the curveball. I really like that pitch call here after the really hard pull foul. His two-speed down pitch is his curveball. Clayton famously doesn't really throw a changeup. And I think the only thing that happened here is this ball just pops a little bit too low. Like it's about this height. Bregman does, since he's in two strikes, he does do a good job of kind of triggering on it, but then he's able to kind of give with his legs and not pull the trigger. I think if this ball pops a little bit higher, it's a definite swing for Bregman. And given how much drop this has, even if it started higher, I still think it gets below the zone. And maybe gets him out, but that's a really, really good take. All right, in 3-2, let's see where he goes. Wow, backdoor slider. So I think what happened here is he gets a little lucky, actually, Clayton. The ball stays up on Bregman a little bit. It is a slider. It's a vicious hack by Alex. I mean, a vicious hack. Look how hard he swings at this. But I think the ball kind of stays up. If you look, it's got 6.7 vert on it. So normally his slider is going to be more in the 2-3 vert range. It's going to drop right into that barrel there, but it stayed up a little bit. And so Bregman slices under it. And this is what we call a happy accident as a pitcher. You go to throw a pitch. He was trying to throw backdoor. You can see that the target here by Will Smith is backdoor. So Kirsch is looking to loop a pitch right in here for a called strike 3. He ends up pulling it to the really, really danger zone, but he gets kind of lucky because the ball stays up. and he ends up getting a kind of a definitely a harmless pop-up at only 83 in the infield. Basically as good as the strikeouts. That's a really good job by Clayton. All right, before we hop into the second at-bat, we got some questions in the chat. 2-0 slider from Kershaw in the first at-bat, such an underrated pitch. Throwing a ball out of the zone and trusting your stuff is what makes pitching so great. I agree. You cannot give in the big leagues. You're facing great hitters, 2-0. They're going to take vicious hacks, try to do vicious damage on you. And I think one of the biggest separators between a minor league pitcher and a major league pitcher is simply your ability to throw multiple pitches in the zone when you need to. If you can't drop a breaking ball in there, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, even 3-0, you're going to throw a lot of predictable fastballs and fastball counts, and that's what those guys want to hit. So the best in the game, they never give in. They can throw any pitch at any time, and that philosophy really, really works. So that's what he sees there. And also we have Adam. What would you say makes Clayton's curveball so unique? I know he got a grip from Kopax, but what does it take on his approach with the pitch? I'm going to say something a little crazy here. I don't think there's anything about the shape of his curveball that's special. I think it's kind of like just your traditional lollipop curveball, but what works about it is that it's so much slower and different than that fastball cutter combination. A lot of times Clayton is pounding right-handers on the inside part of the plate. If we go to this pitch here, the curveball, I can just show you with the pen a little bit what I'm talking about. Clayton tends to throw a lot of fastballs in this area right here. So he's speeding you up, forcing you to open your hips early and try to cheat to this ball. And that plays into his hand in two ways. One, it speeds you up, and then the slider cutter that looks like that pitch then gets into here, into the swing and miss zone, and you're kind of already committed to swinging. But also he has your attention so caught on the inside part of the plate that when he throws the really slow curveball and it comes out, whether it's over here on the outside part of the plate or below the zone, what ends up happening is the hitter decides to swing at it, but it's literally 15 miles an hour slower than the other pitches. I mean, this is only 72.6, and so he kind of like runs out of time. Like he goes to swing, but he's so early that he cannot possibly stay back for the curveball. It's the two speeds down aspect of it, and the timing of knowing when to throw it is what makes it so special. If Kershaw was a curveball attack type pitcher, like a Charlie Morton, where he was leading with the curveball all the time, this pitch would get hit really hard. But he's got a great sense of timing of when to throw it, and also he understands that his other pitches protect this pitch quite a bit. So that's what makes Clayton's curveball so good. All right, let's go look at the second at bat. Bregman versus Kersh. Got him to pop up that first time, but for my money, I thought Bregman was onto him a little bit that first at bat. So it's a first pitch, non-competitive slider. We just got to let that pitch go 1-0. It's going to come back with the slider. And it's a take. It's a little backdoor. This ball's a ball out of the hand. You see, there's the corner. It's a ball. Sorry, it's a ball over here. And then it's going to end up on the corner. And I think Bregman, frankly, he knows to look kind of middle in against Clayton. That's kind of the normal attack. So let's look middle in. Also, he probably thinking he's not going to come back to me with that slider because he and I both know that he got away with one to end that first at bat. So this is a little bit of the cat and mouse between two super vets, two of the best, baseball minds that have existed in the last 20 years going at it. So Clayton spikes that first slider, comes right back with it, makes the correction, throws a nice backdoor, gets to 1-1. Oh, interesting. This is a splitter. This is not a Clayton Kershaw pitch, so he's going off the menu. It's a take. Bregman's not going to swing at anything that comes out low. There's nothing in Clayton's arsenal that if it pops low, it's hanging on to the zone. At this point, his heater doesn't have enough life to it to maintain the angle to get to the bottom of the zone, and all the pitches are going to droop below. So it's a good, easy take by Bregman. And frankly, if he wanted Bregman to swing at that pitch, you need to start a little bit higher. All right, 2-1.
Comes home with 2-1 pitch. Bregman takes
fastball away with crazy cut on it. This ball does actually do a good job of maintaining its height, and I think a big part of that is this 19.1 vert number, but 2.7 inches of horizontal run, that's actual cut. So that ball is literally riding in on the hitter like a slider would or a cutter would, but it's still a fastball, even though it's 88.4. So he gets the take, gets the 2-2. So Bregman's a little frustrated because now there's two pitches in this game so far that he's gotten from Clayton that really haven't behaved like normal. All right, let's go to the 3-2. Going to go back to the bread and butter, the slider, this time for Chase. Doesn't get it there, does get the swing, and it's similar to Freddie's hit in the first inning of Crochet. It's just a weak contact rollover in the grass. Pitcher does a good job, hitter does a good job to not strike out, and the hitter gets rewarded. So again, another ball that doesn't do what he's expecting it to do. This ball's popping, it's a slider. He thinks it's going to sweep into the down into the down in part of the strike zone, middle down, but it never gets there. It just kind of fades out and stays away. I mean, look where this pitch ends up. It ends up off the corner away, but Bregman's committed to swinging. It's 2 strikes, ends up getting it off the bat. He dribbles it 54 miles an hour, but he gets lucky. So both guys have gotten lucky now. I'd say Kershaw won that second at-bat, but Bregman got lucky. And in the first at-bat, I thought Bregman won the at-bat, but Kershaw got lucky. And this is the dynamic of baseball that's tricky sometimes. Who really performed better in these 2 at-bats? Actually, the person who didn't get rewarded both times, which I think is interesting. So they're going to have one more showdown here for a third at-bat, and let's see how it goes. Ooh, 10-pitch one. This is gonna be fun. Little backdoor slider attempt. Paint, perfect first pitch backdoor slider by Clayton. Let's see if he goes in. Nope, it's gonna go back to that changeup splitter. Another easy take. I think, again, this ball just comes out a little too low. He gets it a little bit higher. I think Bregman has to respect it, but he doesn't, so it's a good take. 1-1. Another slider. This time they're going to go down, middle down with it. Hits it again on the back door. You can tell Alex is determined not to swing at that after the contact he had the previous at-bat. He feels like he's not seeing that pitch very well. And this pitch, you know, drops it right into the down and away quadrant for a beautiful backdoor. So this at-bat, we got backdoor slider, changeup splitter down, backdoor slider, 1-2 count. Bregman, though, tough as nails with 2 strikes.
Against each other.
Kersh goes back to the splitter. This time, it does pop a little higher, so he has to swing. And Bregman is out front. This is a good pitch by Clayton, but also a pretty good job to spoil a pitcher's pitch. Tap it foul, and Bregman's going to buy himself another pitch here. Back to the 1-2. Clayton wants to go in. Hasn't shown him in a while. Once again, Bregman's super quick inside. And Clayton makes the mistake of missing down with this. Now, I'll give Will Smith a little bit of blame for this, in my opinion. I'm assuming he really wants to throw this pitch up and in, but you can see the target's down and in. Clayton's one of the best in the game at hitting his target. He actually does hit his target here. I mean, you can see the yellow's right next to the red. Bregman just drops the head on it. It's easier to drop the head on a low pitch than a high pitch because your arms have room to get there. But fortunately for Clayton, this ball's pulled foul. So now he's got him sped up, so we have an interesting dynamic here. Everything's been away, away, away. He tried to come in, still got him swinging. If it were me pitching right here, I'd be thinking about a back foot slider. If he's going to fire down and in, I think he'll fire down and in at my back foot slider. Let's see where they go. Well, Clayton wants to double up on the fastball, this time away though. Bregman does a good job spoiling. Good pitch, good on both counts. Here comes the 2 speeds down curveball. Clayton hates it because this ball popped out, ends up being non-competitive. I think Bregman's going to eliminate right now. Let's see if he goes to double up or not. No, he's going to go back to the fastball, this time away again. You can see that Clayton's a little now skittish to go in. He's gone in on him twice, and Bregman's been quicker than him both times than he expected. Up and away, this is actually a very good location on this fastball. Bregman doesn't have a ton of opposite field power. If he puts this ball in play, it's likely a fly out. But he does a good job of just fouling it off and spoiling again. 2-2. Slider. This time they're going for the back footer. Let's see. Doesn't get it. Kind of leaves it down and away again. Bregman out front. So I think it's a good pitch and a good battle by Alex. And then we get to the 10th pitch. And we're going to go 4-seam. Let's see where they want to go with it. Oh, they're going to stay away. All right, so they're going to stay away. This is like the millionth pitch away that he's seen. He has seen a little bit in, but for the most part, it's been away. And this fastball, he's in swing mode, stays up, doesn't really have the speed to get by him. It's a nice level swing by Alex. Little line drive up the middle, hit it hard, I believe. Let's see. Yep, 103 at 4. He's got one of the tightest swings in the game. This one makes him so good. Yeah, I mean, he's not a big guy, but he maximizes what he's got. Little bit of a load, gets him into a very athletic position here. Head on the ball at contact, just pokes it up the middle. And you know what? Bregman fouled a lot of tough pitches off in this at-bat. This was an interesting battle of pitch choices. You know, are we going to go away? Are we going to go in? Oh, no, that's a bad idea. Are we going to use that to our advantage? No, we're going to go back away. All right, let's try going off the menu. Okay, let's try going 2 speeds down. Let's try going up. Let's try going down. Bregman spoiled a lot of pitchers' pitches, ends up getting a pitch he can do something with and lines it up the middle. So that's it for the Kershaw versus Bregman at-bats. Takeaways from there, I would say Bregman was on him the whole way. But Clayton did make a lot of good pitches, particularly some of the backdoor sliders, I think were good choices to Alex. Not pitches he was really looking for. First at-bat, Kershaw got away with one. Second at-bat, Bregman got away with one. And the third at-bat was just, 10-pitch war, well executed on both sides for the most part, and Alex ends up winning out. So now let's watch Kershaw versus Roman Anthony. Roman, the rookie, he's been scuffling on left on left, I'd say, to this point, with a lot of sweepers. Good news for him in this at-bat. Clayton doesn't really have that, so let's see what the legend goes at him. First at-bat's going to be a walk, but this will help set up the other two. Fastball up and away, does touch the corner, doesn't get the call. Very strange. Another fastball up away, easy miss. You're just not accustomed to see Clayton not getting ahead in the count. I felt like the years I was with the Rockies, Clayton Kershaw was 0-2 or 1-2 pretty much every batter that I ever watched. So he gets to 3-0, even though he should have had a strike on that first one. Finally pours one in. Roman's taken all the way. And then he doesn't. Wow, interesting. He goes 3-1 slider here with nobody on and 2 outs. That's how much faith Clayton has in the slider. But it's down, so Roman's now seen a little bit of the timing and the shape of the pitches before we get to the second at-bat. All right, here we go. Heater away. Misses in with it. Doesn't get the call, so 1-0. I was going to go right to the slider. Let's see if Roman stays on it. So this has been a big theme for Anthony, too, is a lot of ground balls to that 4-hole side versus lefties, a lot of pounding balls in the ground. And again, he does it again here, and he gets rewarded because he hits it at 107. This is one of the nice things about watching Roman play is that he does have excellent exit velo, so he's going to get away with bad swings sometimes. This isn't a great swing. This is a pitch he should murder, honestly, or hit foul, but he rolls it over. This ball kind of stays in on Clayton, doesn't get to where he wants him. You see Will Smith's glove is a little bit more in line with this outside corner here. But this ball is going to end up staying on the inside. Does get the rollover, gets the hit. I feel like that's a good job by Roman just to pull the hands in and hit it hard, but at the same time, it's not his best swing. He gets on top of it. He rolls it over. It's probably a foot away from being an easy out or maybe even a double play, depending on how many outs there were. Okay, third at-bat. So he's really only seen 2 balls in the zone so far, and they've both been middle in. And he's only seen fastballs and sliders. So interesting that Clayton comes out here with a curveball. Wow. Oh, never mind. All right, we got to go to center field cam because they're showing some clip from the All-Star game there. All right, curveball, first pitch. Drops it in. I think that was an excellent first pitch choice. You hadn't seen that yet. You're almost virtually guaranteed to get a take if you throw a pitch in the third matchup that they haven't seen the first 2. And now we'll go to the 0-1. Clayton's going to try to go fastball here. Oof, big time swing by Roman. Really good job of staying closed on that and getting through this ball. Let's see where this ball is on contact. Yep, it's cutting away from him and rising. You see that rise effect. Look at this ball rise and almost gets above the zone. Yeah, it's got 19.5 verts, so 20 vert. That's an elite number in terms of rise. But Roman does an even better job of staying through this ball. He doesn't try to pull off it like he's been doing quite a bit versus lefties. He drives it. I think Fenway, having the big wall out there, is going to really inform this approach for Roman, and it's something that he needs to stay consistent with. Yeah, it's just a good swing. He's got that friendly wall in left field. This is the way that Roman should be swinging all the time. Left center approach is going to serve him really, really well, and that's what works here. And I think it's also important with the movement of the pitch of Clayton in this situation. Not only is the pitch moving up, but it's also moving away from the lefty, even though it's a fastball. So if you try to pull off this ball, that's what you're going to do. You're going to pull off it, you're going to roll it over, you're going to do something weak. So those are the 3 at-bats between the 21-year-old phenom and the guy who used to be the 21-year-old phenom, but now is the old dog, Clayton Kershaw. So I thought those are cool at-bats to check in on. That occurred yesterday. And I do think that we should quickly get in the chat and see what we got here before we go look at that Nick Kurtz game from 2 nights ago, which was just insane. All right, let's get in the chat for a hot second. Who would you say was the best at bringing their hands in on an inside pitch out of the hitters you faced? Well, young Nolan Arenado was one of the best I've ever seen. He used to almost be able to like dislocate his shoulder and like find a way to get in on that ball, get kind of meet the pitch that was in off the plate and still keep it fair. I would say Mookie Betts is really fast inside. Bregman. A lot of times it's shorter guys with shorter arms that are really good at pulling the ball. McCutchen, especially young McCutchen, was really, really good at this. And for the most part, you're going to be able to pitch big league hitters inside. They want the ball, arms extended. But you always have to watch out for those guys that are extremely quick in. Because if you're quick in and you make a mistake in, usually that ball is a pulled fly ball. And what are pulled fly balls? Homers. So those are guys that immediately jump to my mind. McCutchen, young McCutchen, Mookie Betts, definitely young Nolan Arenado. Let me think who else comes to mind here on being awesome on inside pitches. It's funny because this isn't a normal thing to be great at. But I would say Bryce Harper's another one. He's very good at kind of actually leaking but still covering. It's something that we've talked about some lefties doing, but also being quick in. So those are guys that immediately jump to mind. All right, let's head back to the main screen. Yeah, okay, Bo Bichette, that's another good one too, I would say. Although sometimes his pre-pitch movement, like before 2 strikes, like his leg kick sometimes slows him down and you can't jam him. But with 2 strikes, when he spreads out, that's when he's crazy fast inside. All right, so those are the matchups I wanted to check in from that game yesterday. Now we're going to go watch the 6-for-6 Nick Kurtz game because, I mean, we talked about him the other day. We covered him a little bit just on a normal, regular day where he only had 1 dinger. But this game he had 4, so let's go search the games. It's the A's and it's the Stros. And it almost looks like a misprint. Single, homer, double, homer, homer, homer. And there's not a lot of pitches too. There's an aggression. So let's see how these Astros pitchers tried but ultimately failed to go at the rookie phenom Nick Kurtz.
Dude.
Ryan Gusto on the mound here. So it's first pitch heater up and away. Already Kurtz is ready to hit. This is a really good pass at this first pitch. Now it does have 19 vert, so it gets over the bat here. You can see this 19 vert number. And it's located at the top of the zone, which the combination of those two things make a fastball really hard to hit. But Kurtz already swinging for it. You can see he's ultra aggressive. Oh, now they're going to go sinker.
And he goes the other way with a base hit.
Sinker away, unfortunately not really located, and Kurtz hammers it the other way at 93.5. And this is a big hallmark of Kurtz's approach at the plate. He's another one that he kind of, anything on the outside corner, he does a good job of hitting it deep and driving it the other way.
And he goes the other way with a base hit. He continues to
take a quick look at him from the side. Once again, he's got the hands back early. And really, they just kind of stay there. His hands move a little further back, but it's really only as he makes his initial move with the body. See, the hands kind of stay in place, and then he just kind of just pivots, and he's got enough strength to rocket it the other way. So that's the first AB. This is not a homer. And here we go. So let's see if they try to go up with that heater again.
He got hurt on.
They do. So far, both times he's gone up with a 4-seam. He's had Kurtz a little late and a little under it. Up and away. Now here we go to the curveball.
This ball hit well to left.
So this is very similar to the home run he hit off Jack Leiter a week ago.
How hard he hits the ball every single time. This guy is.
It's a backdoor curveball after a fastball. You would think that the fastball would have sped him up enough, or this pitch he'd be really out front on it. But the thing is, when you're not trying to pull everything, you don't get sped up in the same fashion to a rollover fashion. You're able to stay back and just trust your hands. And that's what Kurtz does here. And this is the first homer of the 4, and he just drives this ball the other way. It's 108 at 24. I know it's the Crawford boxes, but this ball's gone anywhere. This ball's crushed. And let's watch this swing from the side. I mean, it's a really good job of staying back. He goes forward, but he stays back, and then he throws the hip, catches it deep, backspins it to left, so that's the first homer. And so far, he's hit a sinker away for an oppo hit and a curveball away for an oppo hit. I think the adjustment now is to try to go inside. That's what I would do. So let's check out what they do now. Gusto's third time facing him. Now they're going to start with the sinker, hopefully trying to go down. It's a take all the way. Finally an inside attempt. It's a cutter in. Let's see what happens. He misses away, so in Kurtz's mind, they're still afraid to go in. I think in is still available. I might have doubled up on a cutter in. Yep, that's what they're doing. Doesn't get it there, but this shape played really well. This ball had spin out of the hand. So Kurtzy is waiting for it to drop, but he ends up scooping under this ball. And he's just a hair late on it. The up cutter can definitely work right versus left. So he gets him to a 1-2 count. Let's see how he goes for the put away. Interesting that he goes for the sinker. Well, he goes for the front door sinker, which I think was a good choice, but instead he just throws it down the middle. And this ball would have been a home run almost anywhere. Holy cow. 104-1 at 36, so he hits it high. Ends up being only a double. But you can see here the intended location of this pitch. Very good target by our catcher. I believe it's Yanni or Diaz, and they want this ball to end up here. But instead, it ends up in that away, very hittable spot that we've seen Kurtz crush pretty much throughout the at-bats that we've looked at. So it's more of a mistake there, but again, a willingness to go the other way and know that you don't have to pull the ball is what's making him special right now. That oppo power. Not a lot of guys can do that. So he should have had 2 home runs, but at this point he's got a single homer and double, and we're thinking about the cycle as opposed to a 4-homer game. But this is how he finishes out this game, is with 3 more homers. So here we go. Hernandez. Are they going to pitch him in? Can they pitch him in? Once again, they go away. This one kind of goes in, but it's only 91. Kurtz gets there, but pulls it foul. Interesting pull job here on the 4-seam. This is a 20 vert, so this ball's got a lot of rise to it. But look at how he pulls it. And being that it's 91, Kurtz is able to be on time, although he is under it, I think, due to the vertical break. So now we're going to go change up. Once again, this away pitch that he doesn't have to try to pull everything. This is what's making this kid so special. This is a split, changeup, whatever you want to call it. The last pitch was a pulled fastball in here, so you would think this would speed him up, throwing him something down and away that's 10 miles an hour slower. Should get him into a rollover ground ball to second base type of swing, but he doesn't do that. He just stays through it, and he just keeps it. He hits it where it's pitched. You know, it's exactly what everybody's taught, but not everybody can hit it where there's pitched and still hit homers. That's what Kurtz does. 99-2 to 31 oppo. It's the second homer of the day, and this kid's a freaking joke. Kid's a joke. You shouldn't be able to do this as a rookie. You should be anxious. You should be trying to do too much, and he's not doing that, and it's so special to watch, honestly. So there's Kurtz. We can watch it again from the side. I mean, it's crazy how he just touches it. All right, let's go to the 8th inning versus Caleb Wart. This guy throws cheese. So are they going to go in?
Oh gosh! Oh my goodness!
Well, this is where this just becomes ridiculous because this ball is in and it's 97, and yet he turns on it.
Oh gosh!
This is a pretty good location, in my opinion, on the fastball. I mean, they wanted it kind of middle, but this ball's got good ride to it, and it gets to up in. And again, everything he's been hitting has been away. I guess this ball could have been a little bit more in, but he's on time. How are you able to drive everything away that's slow from you, but then still be on time for the fastball when it's fast and riding up and in on you? I don't have the answer for that, but Kurtz is pulling off that trick. This ball is creamed to right field. This is a no-doubter. This is top of the scale exit velo too. 113.8 at 25 into the second deck. This gives him a 3-homer game. And let's watch him meet this ball out front. Oh my God. He is ridiculous, man. This kid is so good. I mean, the leg kick is small. It's a soft landing. But his timing right now, the way he's seeing the ball, if he can keep doing this, he's going to be one of the best hitters in the world. And he is at the moment right now. Obviously, it's all about doing it over and over and over again, but this is crazy. And then the 4th at-bat, it's off of a position player. But even in this situation, you know, you're facing lob, you're getting the ball lobbed to you. It's very easy to try to do too much and pull everything. And he ends up taking him oppo for the 4th homer here. And again, it's just like a willingness to hit the ball where it's pitched. Whoever taught this kid to hit did an excellent job. and he has the physical frame and ability to do it, but pitches away, hits it where it's pitched. So all 4 homers, 3 of them are away. They go to the opposite field. They try to go in. It didn't matter. He beat him to the spot anyway. He's just been incredible to watch. Really has. Just ridiculous. And there's only one more thing I want to get into after this, because I've been going on and on about these at-bats. But Nick Kurtz, man. Him versus Jack Caglione is my new favorite rivalry, where both guys don't know they're in a rivalry. I just decided they are. You know, both guys drafted last year, left-handed hitters, big-time college programs, get to the big leagues in 1 year. But Nick Kurtz is way ahead of the marathon race right now between these guys. He got out, he started running, started sprinting off the start line, where who knows, maybe Caglione catches him or passes him in the future, but Nick Kurtz is off to a hot start. And a big part of it is just the willingness to hit the ball where it's pitched. You hear announcers say it a lot, not try to do too much. And what I mean by that is if you're trying to pull everything in the air, you're going to get out on a lot of these pitches that he ended up hammering. He knew that he could hit the ball the other way and do just as much damage, and that's what's making him so special right now. The play coverage is ridiculous. The timing is ridiculous. The balance is crazy. He's not getting out on his front foot. He's not losing his weight in any way. And he's putting the barrel right on the ball, and he's hitting the ball as hard as anyone. And right now, you know, non-Aaron Judge category, and I guess Cal Raleigh, I mean, Nick Kurtz is right there. Nick Kurtz is right there. You don't want to face this kid. But I'd like to see them pitch him more in. Let's go way in and see how comfortable he is there. I think in the old days he would have been knocked on his behind by now. But for me, that's the adjustment I would make. Is I would just pound him in and see how that goes, because away is certainly not working. All right, let's go back to the main screen. Let me check my notes real quick. Okay, there's really nothing major. Those are the main things I wanted to look at. There was one play that was a sick play by the catcher, Jake Rogers. In this game, it was Detroit and Toronto. Scoobs was on the mound. This was an excellent pitching matchup between Scooble and Gosman. But there was a crazy play here. When Heineman was up, the Blue Jays attempted to go for a safety squeeze, and Vlad gets a little bit too far off the bag, and Rogers makes a crazy one-knee throw to third and ends up back picking Vlad. And at this point, it kept the game scoreless. So this was a huge play in this game. And I think we got to look at the high home. So from the high home cam, let's keep our eye on Vlad here and see how aggressive he is coming down the line. Yeah, I mean, he definitely got caught a little bit on with his weight right at this point. He was expecting a bunt here, and there's a pretty hard crash coming from Torkelson. So they're definitely ready to defend this safety squeeze and get the out at the plate. But the really crazy thing is the really good adjustment here by the catcher and the third baseman. Third baseman starts to crash, but then immediately reroutes to the base. And Rogers puts this throw right on the money, with Vlad doing a good job of, when you come back to the bag, you want to be in the line or inside the line a little bit to get in the way of a potential throw. But that's just a heck of a job. Let's see if we can get a good view of the throw here from the catcher, Rogers. I mean, he throws it over the head of Heineman. That's not an easy throw by any means. Fires it over the head.
He's missed.
That's crazy. I wonder if we had any replay view on this. Well, we just have a replay of Rogers' exquisite mustache, but I really wanted to point this out. This was a really good instinctual play that saved a run. Rogers comes up looking, so his eyes are on the target. He's got the batter, Heineman, falling over the plate, and then he just gets on one knee and just goes for it. Sometimes you just got to be athletic and make an attempt. And as you can see, Vlad is doing a good job being on the inside of the bag. So this throw is a tricky throw. You got to go over the hitter and around the runner, and then a nice tag. Great play all around. I really wanted to highlight that play by Jake Rogers and the Tigers. They've been scuffling. They end up losing this game to the Blue Jays, who are red hot. But I really wanted to highlight that play just because that was such an awesome play. And I feel like awesome plays should get recognized. All right, let me see what we got in the chat really quick, if we have anything. Oh, well, I appreciate that. Let me go to the, really quick, I want to go to the solo shots. I can talk to you folks in the chat. When a lefty hits an outside pitch like a righty hits an inside pitch is a problem. Hell yeah, no doubt it is. Yeah, I created the lore between Caglione and Kurtz. I love that. Is it possible to break down Will Warren's outing versus Philly from Friday night? I don't have the time today, Joe. I'm sorry about that. I got to get back. I got to do family stuff today, and the new games are starting in like 10 minutes, and I don't like to be streaming while the games are going on, so we can, be a little bit more on time. But I'm going to check in on Will Warren a little bit. The Yankees definitely getting pounded a little bit here by the Phillies. I was happy to see that they did trade for the guy that I wanted, Ryan McMahon. I think that's going to make a big difference defensively. I also think he's a much better hitter than his numbers. Cores can be weird for some guys. It's a big adjustment to go from home, road, altitude, not altitude. Obviously, I have a lot of experience with that. So I'm a big Ryan McMahon fan, big fan of that trade for the Yankees. But Yankees don't look so hot right now. They need to get back on the winning ways. Tom Brennan, Ottavino, love you, man. You were great for Mets. I appreciate that. I love being a Met. I love playing for you guys. Wanted to do better a little bit at times, especially the last 2 years. But gave it everything I had, and I still root for those boys every night, and they're hot right now. So anyway, let's go back to the screen so we can wrap this up really quick with today's matchups. We got Gomber and Tomoyuki Sugano. So Rockies and Orioles, two teams disappointing this year, obviously, going at it. Gomber is kind of a pitchability, not a big velo guy, and Sugano's like a super pitchability guy. So interesting matchup there. Then we got Dustin May, Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler going against his former team, the Red Sox. I would love to watch this game. There's going to be a lot of emotion behind this game for Walker, and Dustin May is nasty. This should just be a fun game. I think it's the rubber match, Dodgers and Sox. Gallen and Skeens. This is two aces, although Gallen's been really, really struggling, and I think we might have to deep dive that a little bit. But Skeens has been on a roll, so this is a nice pitching matchup here. Gallen and Skeens. Wheeler and Rodon. Excellent matchup today in the Bronx. This is what I'll be watching most likely here coming up in about half hour. Wheeler, one of my top 3 pitchers in the game. If you look over the past 5 years, I think he's been the best pitcher in the game over the past 5 in terms of total body of work. And Rodon's been awesome this year, all-star. He's made some adjustments. He's been a dog. He's going up against a good lineup. That should be fun. Shane Baz, Brady Singer. This is another good matchup here. Rays, Reds. Then we got Scherzer and Jack Flaherty. Can the Blue Jays keep it going? They have been red hot. They've really extended that lead against the Yankees. Tigers need to get back on track. Is Jack the man for that? We will see. Joey Cantillo, Noah Cameron. This is a classic AL Central matchup, Guardians and Royals. We got JT Ginn, former Met prospect, going against Colton Gordon, who shoved, I believe, his last outing. Athletics in Houston. Nick Kurtz in that game, so you might see some more fireworks. Jake Irvin and Cole Sands. Cole Sands, I believe, is a relief pitcher, but they're going at it a little bit. Washington and Minnesota. Ben Brown, Grant Taylor. Don't know much about Grant Taylor, to be honest with you. Ben Brown throws hard, kind of a 2-pitch guy, but that's the crosstown rivalry, Cubbies and White Sox. Yuri Perez, Brandon Woodruff. So Brandon Woodruff made his return versus the Marlins and shoved it. He's been shoving the whole time. Perez has been hot. This might be a really low-scoring game, so we'll keep a tab on that one. Stephen Kolek and Michael McGreevy from St. Louis. The benches have cleared 2 days in a row. Machado had some words. Contreras had some words. We'll see how that plays it out today. I'm more interested in the fireworks that could happen there than really the game. Bryce Elder, Jack Leiter, soft tosser versus hard thrower. Rangers still trying to get back in this race. Braves looks like they're going to be making some trades. I was at camp visiting day yesterday. I got approached by a Braves fan. He says that they're going to be trading everybody in a couple weeks. So we'll see if that guy was right. And then we got Logan Gilbert, Kyle Hendricks. Seattle and LA Angels. That should be a good matchup. Hendricks, the professor, Logan Gilbert, just a dog out there, so we'll see how that goes. And then my guy, Kodai Senga, going for the sweep against the Gigantes out in San Fran. It's a night game, interesting. Kodai, if he throws strikes, he's going to shove, especially early first pitch strikes. That's the biggest thing he needs to improve, but he's had excellent results this year. Matt Gage actually was with us last year for a hot second with the Mets in the bullpen. Never got a chance to get in there. Glad to see him getting some action for the Giants. So that's it for today in terms of the matchups. It's been a lot of fun hanging with you guys. I appreciate the chat today. Good chat today. I'm going to take a quick look at the chat for a second. Yeah, Tigers are free falling. And we will see how that all plays itself out. Thanks again for joining me. We had to make a little pivot because of the internet situation today, but tomorrow we should be back up and running from home. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at the usual time. I'll announce on all the channels when I'm coming on. But enjoy the games today, folks, and thanks so much for joining.